Hello, everyone. Today is December 11th. Time for an update on how things are going for me and for us. And want to start off with a few highlights from the last few weeks. My brothers, both of them surprised me one weekend and came out from Calgary with their wives and totally shocked me and surprised me, and very thankful for the opportunities to see family and friends. I've had quite a few visits over the last few weeks from different people, and I'm very thankful for that. Want to keep being able to visit and do those kind of things while I still have good health and strength, and I don't, So those are a couple of things that I've been thankful for these last few weeks. I'm not naming names so that I'm not missing out anybody.
But there's been lots of visitors and we've appreciated it. We like it when you guys come to the home and visit, and usually Scott has to take a nap after, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's been one of the big changes. Is I know some of you would know from before the surgery and stuff, I was having a hard time sleeping, and then afterwards on steroids, I would sleep like 2.5 hours. Now it's completely reversed. Now she can hardly wake me up. And naps are great.
like 4 6-hour naps, like not like a 2-hour nap or a 1-hour nap, but like I'm gonna go for a nap at 1 p.m. and I wake him up at 6 or 6:30.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly why the big change, but I'm very thankful for that. And I've had an opportunity to have different men driving me into Winnipeg from Steinbach for different appointments with the radiation and naturopathic treatments. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm enjoying those visits with the different guys.
So we had a surprise here yesterday.
Yeah.
I got a secret message from Lindsay at the post office this week, or a couple weeks ago.
From Elm Creek. Yeah.
From Elm Creek, and she's the one who's replaced Scott for now at the post office, and so she had some scheming that she was doing, and so go ahead.
So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Lindsay arrived and brought in one large cooler full of food and different
three,
and then another one.
Yeah.
And then another one. Was there another?
And then there was a box of cards and letters and notes and grade 5 classroom had made cards
at the Elm Creek School. Yeah. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone from Elm Creek. I miss serving you during the Christmas season, but I'm very thankful for Lindsay, who's very capable and doing a great job there. And yeah, when I get a chance, I'll maybe be able to respond a little bit more to some of the cards and letters and notes from the school.
Yeah. So lots of people are asking, like, what's going on with the treatments? Where are things at? And so we really appreciate that you're asking, because that tells us that you care. So treatments-wise, we have been blessed financially to be able to get as far as we've gotten with treatment. So that's a huge deal. So thank you. We could not do this without you guys. Like, we would literally not have any options. So the radiation is done.
Yeah.
And then after radiation, the radiation continues to work and sort of burn in the brain for another 2 weeks. So those 2 weeks are now finished. So it's been 2 weeks since his last radiation. Well, tomorrow will be 2 weeks. And so he's been doing some natural treatments called Oncotherm on his brain, which assist with the radiation. So that he has been doing. Now, starting tomorrow, we believe that the treatments are going to switch. It's going to go between his brain and then his lungs, brain and lungs back and forth, so that the treatments will look a little different starting tomorrow. We're going to go back to the infusion with, so he hasn't had any infusions now for, I guess, 3.5 weeks.
Right.
Something like that. Now we'll go back to the infusions, and that will including the stinky,
The stinky one.
including the stinky one. We're back to the stinky one. We found out it wasn't an allergy. There was another issue. So there's no allergies. It's we're gonna go back to that as long as we can tolerate the smell. We're gonna try it. He can't smell it. Only I can smell it. And it's awful. Or actually, other people, not just him. So
Yeah.
it's not just me. It's not like it's only Carly I can smell.
Yeah.
So we're back to those treatments. Some of you asked some really good questions about, like, is the treatment working? How do you know if it's working? Is it going well? Well, we don't know. The bottom line is, until they run more tests, and there's going to be a PET scan. The plan right now would be December 28th. We're not sure if that's going to work, because normally they don't do a PET scan within 8 weeks of radiation, and that's exactly the 4-week mark. So we're not sure exactly what they're going to do, or if they'll keep that appointment or change that. But we are, hopefully we'll know a little bit more at that point. And I'm not sure when the next CT or MRIs are going to be scheduled. When we get to that point, then we'll have a comparative study to say, yes, this is working, this isn't working, or it's staying the same. Staying the same would be a positive thing, so that's good. We're hoping at least that. The things that we are looking at right now to say, like, is it working, would be the fact that his radiation treatment could have given him significant side effects.
Right.
And we believe that the side effects he's had are very minimal, very minimal. He had nausea and vomiting a couple of days, excessively tired, which we already talked to you about. So he's very, very tired, but, and hair loss, which wasn't a really big thing, but we did know in the back he's got a little bit less hair. Anyway, other than that, the symptoms have been really very, very minor.
Yes.
So
Thank
we
you,
do
Jesus.
believe that, between your prayers and also the treatments, that really limited how many side effects he had from the radiation. We are noticing some new symptoms coming up.
Yeah, like we've always been just focusing on the lungs. Well, I'm not seeing any signs or symptoms from the lungs, but now with the whole brain tumors and issues, we kind of have to shift gears and trying to understand better what to expect. So brain-wise, we're starting to see interesting things. One I mentioned before, sometimes my timelines are really off. Noticing sometimes short-term memory issues. Somebody the other day asked me a question, and right afterwards, like, what was the question? So just becoming more aware of some of these things, and noticing that even though I'm sleeping really well, we're noticing lots of my hands twitching and
lots of movement in his sleep that he doesn't notice, and lots of rapid hand movement, shoulder movements.
Sometimes it's physically.
Lots of things like that. So we're going to be doing some inquiry about that. It does appear that it could be related to brain seizures, but we're not sure. So we're not sure about that. So we're looking at what some of those new symptoms are, how to control them. They don't bother him. They don't wake him up at night. No. Not usually. You might notice them sometimes.
I might notice them if I'm,
Like if he's falling asleep or waking up, he'll notice. But he doesn't seem to notice when he's already sleeping. I notice them more than he does. Yeah. Other than that, we are just going to keep plugging and doing the things we know to do. Like we said, the tests for the PET scan, the PET, isn't until December, possibly January. And we don't have any other scheduled tests right now, like no CTs, no MRIs. So hopefully that will be in the new year to give us another round of assessment to see where we're really at.
Yeah, so we really don't know, is it extending my life? I feel like I have a really good quality of life right now. Yes, I do miss driving. There are concerns. They didn't take my license away, but the concern still is that what if I have a seizure while I'm driving or something? So trying to be wise and not doing that.
Yeah, so that's probably the biggest change and hardship for both of us right now is adjusting to him not driving, and then remembering that if he plans something, I have to drive him, or somebody has to drive him. He can't drive himself anywhere.
Yeah.
That's probably a big loss for us as a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also want to say thanks to some of you who've been so gracious in coaching us through some end of life
Yes.
processes. Everybody is different. We know that. And we're hoping and praying that Scott lives for a long time. But we also do want to be prepared. So thankful for, a cousin who called and explained what happens when we call 911.
Yeah, from a paramedic perspective.
From a paramedic's perspective.
That was good.
That was amazing. Very helpful for us to understand. Also giving us good direction on where to get information, paperwork, how to contact people, so that there's not, if he should die at home, so there's not a police investigation, things like that, like things you don't think about if you're not doing this journey, right? And so we're just so grateful for those people who are, asking if we want that information. Because it does sometimes seem like a morbid conversation. Hey, let's talk about your death.
Nothing like telling people I was working on my obituary this last week and I got my grave clothes ready.
Yes, and that's true. He did. He does. His grave clothes are ready, and he's been working on his obituary. But we say that we're doing this as part of celebration of life, right? Yeah. These are things that are part of life. Death is part of life, and living is part of life. But him being protective of me and his kids, my kids, so that lots of this stuff is just done. Whether he lives 30 years or a year or a month, these things will be things that we don't have to do under a great deal of stress.
Right.
Because he's already taken care of it.
That's what I'm working on.
So he's honoring me and our family by doing some of these preparation things ahead of time. And we want to thank you guys for the grace and the information, the coaching to help us get through some of that.
Yeah, we had some friends over this week and they had shared a story about a situation where they had someone in their vehicle that had a brain seizure. And
also had cancer.
And cancer. And so it was just good. Yeah, we don't know what we're walking into. This is all new territory. And so it's just, again, we appreciate each and every one of you that are sharing your encouragements, your prayers, and helpful advice. So appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We love you.